James Wakabi, Mega Masapi.
From all over the world, local, regional, national and international, Kdr FM brings you all the stories. Kdr FM News, proudly sponsored by MTN.
You used to tell me that I don't make you happy. All that time you would be complaining. But baby, how come you never call me? But now with MTN, I have a daily voice bundle. I'll call you every day. Yeah, yo, baby, don't dolo. MTN voice bundle. Yeah, yo, baby, don't dolo. MTN voice bundle. Yeah, yo, baby, don't dolo. MTN voice bundle neza bei dondoro okutera network zona tungada chika 25 arshirinjira 10 zonka nyigasta emwe not star ibiri emwe hash otoraneho daily bundle ninga kozesa my MTN app ogambe aha bei dondoro aha kuba kuturi kugamba hamwe twine kizibira MTN enkora n'obushosholeke nibikuratirwa MTN nerebera rw'ekitongole kya Uganda Communications Commission.
Abantu nyana bakibale Kagadi Kakumiro na handi hona mutabaruke habwokuba tyansika arguza egabude obone baletera mibazi yona eyabuzireyira ikara nogya Kampala manya Kenya manya Dubai nogitoza hati nurekeraho genda bugenda mu batyansika arguza yona emibaze roho okukebera omubiri gwono kamanya na kyorwaire byona byabusa iwo kwenda kukebera computer kwigule ebinywa kandi inyo bakasitoma babo abakuru inyo bakubahereza special care bakusubuza green tea habeya y'omusubuzi okuterwa mutwe kuterwa mutima ekiriroliro mu mubiri kuruma no kuzimba ebigeri ulcers hanija sukari pressure kusanyarara omusujja ogutakira kurumwa mugongo kuruma munda amani geksaija nege kazi toine iwo karwara amaino habo kwani obo kaba kuletera ombazi gwa amaino ogubakweta high quality toothpaste bakusemereza buhereza high hinaiwe buli kya baraza babaho nyamarunda town council hasanyuka bar and lodge kandi kuruga kya kabiri kya kasatu kya kana kya katano kya mukaga hamuna kya sande baba karuguza ha office zabo enkuru ha muhanda gwa kikada waruga ha stand big bank hakona house ne kyapa kibahoja kwa no kirora genda bugenda nakasenti ko gule mibazi niko bakwijanja bokire abo kumanya bikiraho baza nabo hazira musanju munana mukaga 13 04 00 na 0740 kenda na 5 10 23 yanshi together we share.
For how Chinese bantu baingi muno ohulira kyansimba hano nkwata hamugongo ekifuba kikulemera oburumi munyingo mu baitu hati wekwata ba for how Chinese bano ni bayijanja banokira kimo ebirwaire no biraga nenkoro yawe yekikugu baine byoma ebya meridian therapy nibikonyera okwigula binywa kutereza emigongo alinywa bakusasa nibakumara mu busase bona bwino munyingo hati nywa bakuzimbe bigere mugende mubayikire nibakora handwereza maiso nibajanja basukali harusazi okwetaga kusara size okendeza omunyeto gwine oine kizibu kyo kusanyarara hamuna inywa abateirwe stroke niba batereza ni mugaruka okurungi muno aba for how Chinese hano mukaruguza basange ha muhanda gwa kizizi ogugenda ha vision hakyombeko kyakona house haihine ichundiro lya magiteri yaka opposite Millennium Guest House rundi baterera ha namba zesimu 0 kinana na mnana msanju na msanju asatu na mnana na 0 mwenda nkaga na ibiri kinana na isatu anna nemu for how Chinese hamuno bwijanja byo burungi.
Esaha zikire msanje zeihangwe ohulirize Kdr 10 fama akaire kanu nikakuleterwa
MTN voice bundles ezikutera network zona habei dondoro migasita 10 ibiri emu hash rundo yekonyeza my MTN app okome mu daily bundle habo kuba butukuba zaitwena titukwemerezibwa. MTN Uganda Limited nerolerwa Uganda Communications Commission.
A very good afternoon. It is a minute past 1 p.m. My name is Deo Asiimwe. I welcome you to this broadcast of Kdr News. Now the detail. President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has condemned the assassination attempt targeting former U.S. President and Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump, expressing sympathies. Trump was last Saturday hit in the ear at a campaign rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, and a bystander was killed during the attack. The suspected shooter, identified by the FBI as 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks, was reportedly swiftly killed by Secret Service agents at the scene. Museveni yesterday joined global leaders to extend concerns and condemn the attack, which he describes as cowardice and appalling. In his X message, Museveni also extended condolences to the family that lost their loved one during the attack, further saying political violence threatens democracy. Museveni joins a list of global leaders, including his counterparts in Canada, France, India, China, Russia, who have similarly condemned the assassination attempt on the former U.S. president. Following the incident, U.S. President Joe Biden urged Americans to lower their temperature and to solve differences without shedding blood. U.S. authorities are still investigating the shooting as an act of domestic terrorism. Away from that, Kibale District Local Council 5 Chairperson Godfrey Muwonge Kasanga has challenged born-again pastors in the district to put more emphasis on education through educating their children and encouraging their followers to support their children's education. He made the remarks yesterday while speaking during a meeting that was attended by pastors from different born-again churches held at Wamiramira Sub-County Quarters in Kibale District. Muwonke also calls on pastors to incorporate the message of wealth creation and the gospel while preaching to Christians in their respective churches in order to support government on its efforts of poverty eradication.
batabani banyu na bahara banyu mubateeka somero niko bongera bajyo musingi gumu kanese kuyinuka abayisema banyu bona abana babo batwara musabanze ngenda kuterera abarokore mujya ko muri bamani musomeseza abana banyu inyo murayigara muri mutyo ni mweranzi ninyo abapasita bamani musoke mutwaza abana banyu ediguize bongera bafoke bapasita abana mubatwara somero nyerenje nibagenda kugaruka mu bitwa kwaza n'ubyono we are planning dini bitukubaza it is more of planning and we are beginning abana bajya hasi bamanyi ikiza yabo bagitegereze babangukire they can do anything nimojya kufuna abanywanyi bani baherewo ko nibajya gukora ajya mu yaya police samdia buku banyibali dawo ni baruko batitano I start no time message abana abo nigamani kandi nibo mwekeseze bamanyire ikiriza yani nibonano yiye byo byo kakuhi umwana ajasoma.
Away from that, officials from the Equal Opportunities Commission have asked government to consider formulating a policy on sex workers that are on the rise in the most urban centers and to guide local governments on how to proceed with the enforcement. Petua Isabidie, the Equal Opportunities Commission Principal Education and Training Officer, together with officials from the Commission, visited Fort Portal and met with stakeholders to lay out strategies to tame new infections of HIV/AIDS, backed with a 17.8% prevalence in the city. Speaking during the meeting, Isabidi says that due to economic hardships, some women end up on the streets and contract HIV while engaging in sexual activity, which increases transmission. She notes that it is time for the government to formulate a policy on sex workers to guide local government on how to proceed. Attendees suggested that city leaders develop policies to mitigate the spread of HIV, noting that Fort Portal City must develop strategies to manage the viral disease. According to Uganda AIDS Commission, Fort Portal has HIV/AIDS prevalence at 17.8%, which is significantly above the national average of 5.1%. Evan Amara, the Fort Portal City HIV/AIDS focal person, says that the city has registered 529 new infections from October last year to March this year, with 322 of those females. Fort Portal City Council developed a 5-year HIV/AIDS strategic plan from 2020 to 2021 to 2024 to 2025, which is being implemented, and it is focusing on increasing productivity and quality of life for both affected and infected persons by reducing on the burden of HIV/AIDS in the city. Now, putting that story aside, Uganda has received a second consignment of 3 million doses of foot and mouth disease vaccine from Egypt. This latest batch arrives just 3 months after the first shipment of 3 million doses in May. The vaccines were received yesterday by the Chief of Defense Forces and Senior Presidential Advisor on Special Operations, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, at Entebbe International Airport. Muhoozi says that the vaccines will go a long way in combating the foot and mouth disease, which has ravaged Uganda's Carter corridor. The general further notes that the development signals the country's strong bilateral ties with Egypt. General Muhoozi was accompanied by the Minister of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, Frank Tumwebaze, Minister of State for Animal Industry, Bright Rwamirama, the MAIF Permanent Secretary, Major General David Kasura Kyomukama, and other senior government officials. The foot and mouth disease outbreak has led to a quarantine in 32 districts across the country in order to curb the spread of the disease, causing significant distress in the cattle corridor. Now, the United Kingdom Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office has announced the appointment of a new British High Commissioner to Uganda. Lisa Chesney, whose appointment takes effect from October this year, replaces Kati Eri. Eri was appointed at the end of 2019 and assumed her diplomatic roles in Uganda in November 2020. According to a press statement from Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office, Eri will be transferred to another diplomatic service appointment as Chesney joins the UK's Diplomatic Commission in Uganda to represent interests of the UK. As the current British Commissioner in Freetown, Sierra Leone, and a role she has held since August 2021, Chesney has served in various international diplomacy positions, including the Home Office, head of the Counter-Extremism Unit, and leading the COVID-19 recovery and change efforts.
You are still listening to KDR News Broadcast. This is the news on the international scene.
Now, for the news on the international scene, Lebanon. Israeli air attacks in southern Lebanon have killed at least 5 Syrians, including 3 children. Lebanese media has reported as Israel's military and Hezbollah armed group continue to trade fire across the border. Lebanon's national news agency, NNA, says that the 3 children were killed in an Israeli air raid that targeted farmland in the village of Tut, while 2 others were killed in the Israeli drone attack on the Kefa Tebnit Road, which is also in southern Lebanon. The United Nations Children's Agency, UNICEF, has condemned the deadly attack, saying that more children are at risk as long as the violence continues. The killings come as Israeli forces continue to trade fire with Hezbollah, which launched attacks on Israel in support of Palestinians in the war-torn Gaza Strip. The Lebanese armed group has said it will cease hostilities as soon as Israeli authorities and Hamas, which governs the Gaza Strip, agree a ceasefire deal to end the brutal war which has killed at least 38,713 Palestinians in Gaza and 1,139 people in Israel. The early tonight is 11 minutes past 1 p.m. As I wind up the newscast, a quick look on the top headlines once more. President Museveni condemns cowardly attempted assassination on Trump. Kiwale District Boss challenges pastors on supporting education, wealth creation. Uganda receives the second batch of foot and mouth disease vaccines from Egypt, and 3 Syrian children killed in horrific Israeli attack on Lebanon. That's it. My name is Deo Asiimwe. I wish you the best of your lunch. It is a Wednesday afternoon. I wish you the best of it all. Don't forget to follow us on our YouTube channel. It is Karuguza Development Radio. On TikTok at Kdr FM Radio. On X, the same. And on Facebook, 100.3 official. And on our official website, that is www.kdrfmradio.com.
From all over the world, local, regional, national and international, Kdr FM brings you all the stories. Kdr FM News, world's proudly sponsored by MTN.
You used to tell me that I don't make you happy. All that time you would be complaining. But baby, how come you never call me? But now with MTN, I have a daily voice bundle. I'll call you every day, yeah yo, baby dondolo. MTN voice bundle, yeah yo, baby dondolo. MTN voice bundle, yeah yo, baby dondolo.
MTN voice bundle neza bei dondoro okutera network zona tunga dakika 25 arshiringi 10 zonka nyigasta emwe not star ibiri emwe hash otoraneho daily bundle ninga kozesa my MTN app ogambe aha bei dondoro aha kuba kuturi kugamba hamwe twine kizibira MTN enkora n'obushosholeke nibikuratirwa MTN nereberero kitongole kya Uganda Communications Commission.
Abantu nyana bakibale Kagadi Kakumiro na hadi hona mutabaruke habwokuba tyansika ruguza egabude obone baletere mibazi yona eyabuzireyira ikarano bya Kampala manya Kenya manya Dubai no gitoza hati nurekeraho genda bugenda mu batyasika ruguza yone mibaze roho okukebera omubiri gwono kamanya na kyorwaire byona byabusa iwo kwenda kukebera computer kwigula ebinywa kandi inyo bakasitoma babo abakuru inyo bakubahereza special care bakusubuza green tea habeya yo musubuzi okuterwa mutwe kuterwa mutima ekiriro liro mubiri kuruma no kuzimba ebigeri ulcers hanija sukari pressure kusanyarara omusujja ogutakira kuruma omugongo kuruma munda amani geksaija na gekazi toine iwo karwara amaino abo kwani obo kabakuletera ombazi gwa amaino ogubakweta